It started like any other morning. The lights came on, the cameras rolled, and the familiar energy of Live with Kelly and Mark filled the room. But today felt different. There was no big announcement, no shocking headline, no dramatic twist. Just a simple moment. Soft, genuine, and completely unplanned. And somehow, that moment was enough to capture everyone's attention. Because when Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos share something real, people notice. As the show opened, everything seemed normal. Kelly walked onto the stage with her usual bright energy. Mark followed, calm and composed, with that steady presence viewers have come to appreciate. They greeted the audience, shared a few laughs, started their usual morning conversation. But something about their interaction felt softer today. Not forced, not scripted, just natural. And for viewers who have watched them for years, that subtle shift didn't go unnoticed. The moment didn't come with music or dramatic build-up. It happened quietly. Kelly said something lighthearted, a small joke, something playful. Mark responded not just with words, but with a look that felt genuine, a look that carried years of understanding. And then, a smile. Not for the audience, not for the cameras, but for her. It was brief, almost easy to miss, but it was real. Viewers are used to seeing chemistry on television. But this wasn't just chemistry, this was comfort. The kind that comes from knowing someone deeply, from sharing years of life together. With Kelly and Mark, there's no need to perform a relationship, because what they have already exists beyond the show. And that's what made this moment stand out. It wasn't created for TV. It simply happened. It didn't take long. Within minutes, viewers began reacting. Comments started appearing online. Did anyone else notice that moment? That was so real. You can tell they truly care about each other. Some described it as sweet. Others called it comforting. But nearly everyone agreed on one thing. It felt authentic. In a world where so much content feels planned, edited, and controlled, moments like this are rare. There was no script telling Mark how to react, no direction guiding Kelly's tone. Just two people being themselves, and that authenticity created something powerful. Because audiences today aren't just looking for entertainment, they're looking for something they can feel. What makes this even more meaningful is the history behind it. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos aren't just co-hosts, they're partners. They've shared years together through different phases of life, through growth, challenges, and change, and now they bring that shared experience to the screen, not in a dramatic way, not in a performative way, but in small, quiet moments like this. Not every powerful moment needs to be loud. Sometimes the most meaningful connections are the quietest ones. A glance, a pause, a smile. These are the moments that don't demand attention, but earn it anyway. And that's exactly what happened here. There's something universal about what viewers saw. It wasn't about celebrity, it wasn't about fame, it was about something simple, connection. People recognized it because they felt it in their own lives, in their own relationships. That sense of ease, of understanding, of being seen without needing to say anything. In a fast-moving world filled with constant updates and breaking news, this moment slowed everything down. It reminded viewers that not everything needs to be big to be meaningful. Sometimes, the smallest moments carry the most weight. Live TV has a unique power. There's no pause button, no second take. What happens, happens. And that's what makes it real. Moments like this can't be recreated. They can't be scripted. They simply exist for a brief second, and then they're gone. But the feeling they leave behind, that stays. This moment didn't just highlight their relationship, it revealed something deeper. a sense of comfort, a sense of trust, and most importantly, a sense of authenticity. They weren't trying to impress anyone. They were just being themselves. And that's exactly why people connected with it. Even hours after the show aired, the reactions kept coming. Clips were shared, comments were posted, discussions continued. Not because something dramatic happened, but because something real did. And in today's world, that matters more. In the end, there was no big reveal, no headline-making announcement, no dramatic twist waiting to unfold. Just a moment. A quiet, genuine moment, shared between two people who know each other deeply. And somehow, that was enough. Because in a world where everything often feels fast, loud, and overwhelming, this moment slowed things down. It gave viewers something they didn't even realize they needed. A pause, a breath, a reminder. Watching Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos in that brief, unscripted exchange didn't feel like watching television. It felt real. There was no performance behind it, no effort to make it perfect, no need to turn it into something bigger than it was. And maybe that's exactly why it mattered so much. Because not all meaningful moments need to be loud. Not all connections need to be explained. Some things are felt, not said. Some emotions don't need words. They exist in the space between people. In a glance, in a pause, in a quiet smile that says more than any script ever could. That's what people saw. And more importantly, that's what people recognized. Because moments like that don't just belong to celebrities on a screen. They belong to everyone. They live in everyday life. In conversations at the breakfast table, in shared looks across a room, in the comfort of simply being understood without having to say a single word. And when viewers witnessed that kind of connection, it reminded them of their own lives. Their own relationships, their own quiet moments that often go unnoticed. In a way, it wasn't just about Kelly and Mark. It was about something bigger, something universal. The idea that real connection doesn't need to be complicated, that love, respect, and understanding don't always show up in grand gestures. Sometimes they show up in the smallest ways. And those are often the moments that stay with us the longest because they feel honest, they feel human, they feel true. So while the show continued and the conversation moved on and the day carried forward as it always does, that moment lingered, not because it demanded attention, but because it quietly earned it. And maybe that's the most powerful part of all, that something so simple, so unplanned, and so effortless could leave such a lasting impression. Because at the end of the day, people aren't just looking for entertainment, they're looking for something they can connect with, something they can believe in, something that feels real. And for a brief moment, that's exactly what they got. A reminder that sometimes the most powerful thing you can share is simply being real.